Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, and all those terrible Jay and Silent Bob type pictures, man. You're listening to Drop the Mic, the only podcast that I listen to that I'm not a part of. Every podcast I listen to, I usually talk on it, but not fucking Drop the Mic. That's where I'm like, let me hear what the boys have to say. And now, we drop the mic.
You've changed things. Forever. There's no going back. See, to them, you're just a freak. Like me.
What do we got?
Nothing. No name, no other alias. Clothing is custom. Nothing in his pockets but knives and lint.
Evening, Commissioner. Why so serious? Where is he?
People are dying. What would you have me do?
Endure. You can be the outcast. You can make the choice that no one else will face. The right choice. Gotham needs you.
A little fight in you. I like that.
And you're gonna love me.
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's all part of the plan. Come on, hit me! Let's put a smile on that face.
Welcome back to our humble San Diego podcast. We are your hosts, Wesley Swanson, James Warney, and Ryan Jimenez, and together we are Drop the Mic. And this is episode 328, Why So Serious, where we aim to discuss everything we love about 2008's The Dark Knight. But first, let's get warmed up, shall we? What's up, fellas? How are you?
Doing good, man.
Pretty good.
And now for a special news report. Brought to you by Drop the Mic.
Let's start it off with some toy news. I think Wes might already have this information, but it looks like after 30 years, we're going to be getting some Jawsome animated toys from Street Sharks. They're going to be pretty much the same exact, from what I'm reading, they're going to be a new retro toy line representing the toys from 1994 Street Sharks, and they're aimed towards the adult collectors that just happens to be us. So be prepared for that stuff to be coming out pretty soon.
I found a couple of those like at a swap meet like 5-6 years ago, so I gotta bust them out and try to sell them now.
I know, yeah.
Wes, do you have any of those?
As a kid, I had the original. It's Mattel, right?
Yeah.
I had a lot of the original Mattel line. I had the fucking the cruiser, the big like monster truck thing that they sat in, which was amazing. But none of that stuff survived, unfortunately. And I haven't been lucky like Ryan and found them at swap meets and thrift stores and whatnot yet. So I am very, very excited. And take my money, Mattel.
Yeah. I believe they're not coming out until 2024. I think that's when the 30th anniversary is. But so keep a lookout for those. I'm sure they'll be dropping some images for those probably within the next couple of months. So yeah, super excited for that. What else do I got here? David Harbour went on record in an interview saying recently that after season 5 of Stranger Things wraps, he is completely done with the series. He wants to step away from TV series altogether and focus on more original movies and movies that will go into theater instead of streaming services. I could understand that. He also said in the statement that he doesn't want to be known only for Hopper. He doesn't want to be the guy who gets yelled Hopper every single day when he goes outside.
Well, he's Hellboy though.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess, for some people, I guess.
Okay, I'll do this. He's a Gran Turismo guy now.
Yeah, there you go. Sure, that movie's gonna do so well.
I think he's already past that, right? Like everyone's just gonna always recognize him for that. And I love him. Like he's a good actor, and I've loved him in the things he's done. But like, it's just Stranger Things is such a cultural phenomenon that like none of those people, none of those actors are ever gonna. Maybe of course, Winona Ryder. They're never gonna live that down, and that's not a bad thing.
It's not. Yeah. It's not. Some people, they never get that kind of shot, and they're just in the background their entire career. So I would think that's a good problem to have. He's also the Red Guardian, right? Come on, guys.
Yeah, and he was awesome as Red Guardian.
He's going to be a part of the Thunderbolts whenever that movie or series comes out. I'm not sure what it is, but he's going to be in that as well. So hopefully he gets what he wants and gets to be in some awesome movies. But I think me and you, Wes, talked about this a little bit. It's that Funko news. So if we have any Funko fans that listen to our podcast, they actually have plans to eliminate 180 positions to trim the fat, basically, from their company and make it a more run like a lean startup. So they want to get rid of a lot of positions, kind of start. They're losing money, basically. I guess in the last, I think in the second quarter of this year, they had lost $73 million. So yeah, they're not doing too good. So expect to see less Funko Pops on the stands at Target and wherever you go, or expect to see a lot of the same ones that are already out. They're just going to be rotating through.
Do you happen to know how they lost that kind of money?
I just think the Funko Pop fanatics or that it was like a couple of years ago when everyone was into Funko Pops and stuff, and that kind of died down, I guess I would say. I'm not too sure. I've noticed a lot of slowing down in stores. I know Hot Topic used to have this huge wall of Funko Pops. They kind of slimmed that down. It's more of like a little thing now, but I don't know. Maybe they're not selling as much as they were before. That's the only thing I can think of. And I know they own I think you said they own. I think they own Loungefly.
Yes.
And another company as well.
Mondo.
Yes. So they're I don't know. Maybe it's maybe that's all together from all of their companies. They've lost $73 million. But
that's just so strange to me because Mondo it kills it. I know they did their whole shit with the poster stuff that they shouldn't have done. And then Loungefly is I don't know, super fucking popular.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that video from this past Comic-Con where this guy literally, and I'm not kidding, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. He found obviously an extremely rare Funko Pop. I forget what the character is. And he bought it for $100,000 at Comic-Con.
No way. It had to have been from a private collector though, right?
I don't know. It was on the floor. He was on the floor and he was holding it and he goes, "Yeah, had to take a loan out from the bank and wire some money."
Oh my God!
Wire some money, but it's mine. I'm going home happy, and I'm just like, dog. What?
Those all those pops. I saw that video. All those pops that are sell for that amount, much were pops that came out 10 years ago at Comic-Con that they used to do those Freddy Funko Friday or weekends where they would only do 15 or 20 of them. Those are the ones that sell. But they need to just I got rid of a lot. Before I moved to Southern California, I fucking sold over 300 pops. I made a good amount of money. Yeah. And what I have now is kind of just like wrestling and horror related. But they just need to stop making them for every single fucking thing. Like every fucking character, everything gets them, and people are tired of them. Like no one wants fucking the Golden Compass reboot fucking Funko Pops. Like those are the ones you're seeing at fucking Target and Walmart and places like that. So what I hope isn't going to happen is I hope a lot of those jobs aren't going to be gone from Mondo, because I think that is their most profitable, and that is one of the things that they should put the most money in, because it that stuff sells. Like fucking West sees it all at Comic-Con. Those lines are fucking ridiculous for that shit, for those records and those toys and posters. So yeah, they need to just calm it down a little bit.
I think the thing is too, they kind of get lazy in production, so a lot of their I think the last not including the Batman movie, but a majority of their Batman themed Funko Pops are all pretty much the same mold, but with different colors or a different colored mask or something. So they're all pretty much the same. They're getting lazy, so they're just making the same Funko and just repainting it a different way. That's what I've been seeing a lot, and a lot of people complaining about that as well. But moving on to some interesting news here. I guess Channing Tatum will be wearing a comic book accurate Gambit costume or suit for the Deadpool 3 film. He is apparently attached to that film. I had no idea he was even attached to that, but this is a rumor right now, but that's news coming out that he is apparently attached to the Deadpool 3 film, and looks like we're going to be seeing him in that as well. He might finally get his wish at becoming Gambit. Finally, after 30 years, it seems like, of him trying to get that movie started.
Well, Go ahead.
I hope all those rumors are true about all the casting and everything, and what people think they might be doing is they might be taking the story from Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, and him just going off and killing all the 20th Century Fox X-Men. That would be fucking awesome. So I don't know. We'll see how they do it. I'm sure Ryan Reynolds is gonna. Yes, they have something up their sleeves, but hopefully it turns out good, because I don't want. Or you know what? What's gonna happen? What I feel like is gonna happen is all these rumors are gonna come out, just like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, where all these different fucking characters are supposed to show up on these rumors, and nothing happened, and everyone was pissed.
Yeah, none of those rumors came to fruition. It was just all fucking fan wishings. But what were you gonna say, Wes?
Well, Ryan actually addressed it. I was just thinking that maybe they were going to do something meta with the 20th Century Fox thing, since we got that, I guess, light spoiler with the logo in the sand or whatever. I don't know if you guys saw that. Yeah. So
I actually thought that was Photoshop first. Now that you're saying that, and I'll have to relook at it, because I saw it and I was like, oh, that's someone just Photoshopped that into the background, but apparently it's a real background, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, too, those pictures that were leaked, who the fuck, do they not have security on set? Those pictures look like they were taken on, someone was taking them on a set. It looks to me, it looks too obvious of a leak. It just, it doesn't look real.
Crispy.
Yes, we know some. I know some companies will be like, oh, let's release some quote unquote leaked photos, but make sure they're really good, so that way people can see what they're actually working with. So I think you're right on that one, Ryan. I know a couple of movies have done that in the past to make sure that it looks good. And it was still early in the production, to where if I think it's also to get a gauge of what the fans were going to say with the new look of Deadpool, because he's more like a vibrant red instead of that dirty, dingy red suit. But yeah, I'm excited. If the rumors are true, like you said, we've had a huge amount of rumors for this film. Hopefully everything comes true. And then my next bit of news, we get a casting list of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I had no idea he was even doing a Frankenstein movie, but we have Oscar Isaac, Mia Goth, and Andrew Garfield are all three of them attached to this Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein. What do you guys think of that? This casting leak or announcement?
Yeah, I'd seen that. I mean, that's next to the Haunted Mansion. That's his his favorite, thing of pop culture. So I'm excited to see what he does with it. And it's going to be crazy to see. Obviously Universal owns those rights. So I know we've been talking a lot about how Radio Silence is doing their Universal Monster thing, and now he's doing something. And I have some in my news about something else that
Okay.
was being confirmed. But it's just crazy, dude. Like Universal Monsters next to Hitchcock is why I love horror and why I love movies. So I'm super excited to see what they got going on.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think about that, Wes? The cast, excited for it or
very?
Ever?
Of course, very excited. Especially because monsters are his thing, as we all know. So
yes.
Do you?
The practical stuff's going to be amazing.
I know. He had went on record, and I'm not sure if he's like Tarantino, where he changes his mind a lot. But he had said that he had one more live action that he wants to do, and then he's only going to do stop motion for the rest of his career, in the vein of his recent Pinocchio film. Have you guys heard anything about that?
I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised just because how much he's been like promoting animation. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know if you follow him on Twitter or Instagram or anything, but it's all he talks about is animation and how it's like the future. And of course, he's won Oscars before, but Pinocchio won an Oscar, so I'm sure he had a little a little different than what he's usually used to doing. So I mean, if that's the case, then I'm excited. Like Pinocchio was fucking rad.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't heard that news, but it kind of bums me out when I hear directors say that, like, oh, this is going to be my last thing, or like Quentin Tarantino said. It definitely builds hype around whatever next thing they're doing. But yeah, I haven't heard any news on that.
So I just got like two little bits, but so apparently there's multiple rumors going around. That one of the rumors is that Blumhouse has kind of secretly bought the rights to Nightmare on Elm Street. There's another rumor going around that there's like a huge bidding war for the next studio to take over. So that kind of got me thinking. That's a question I want to ask you guys. I know like Robert Englund, obviously he's not going to do it. And he said he's done, and very iconic. You can never replace him, but if they do this, they're going to have to replace him. So my question to you guys is, who do you think should be the next Freddy?
So when was the last time that you can recall that he said he won't be coming back?
I literally just read it as I was reading these rumors that after Freddy vs. Jason, that's it. And like he's in his 60s now, right? 70s. He just said that he just physically he doesn't think he can do it anymore.
All right, because I remember reading something, and it's been a few years, probably like pandemic, that he would come back. He's got maybe one more in him, but somebody of his age could possibly change their mind, like we were just talking about. But that's a good, interesting question. Who could be Freddy? I don't know. I had heard rumors of Kevin Bacon being considered. What do you guys think about that?
I saw that too, but I think that if you're going to go that route, in this article I was reading, it brought that up, and they said that they could see it, but at the same time, I think they're like pretty close in age. So why not just bring England back and see if he wants to do it?
That's true.
And if it's a big company like Blumhouse, someone doing it, they're going to want to make multiple. So you would think that they would want that person a little younger.
They should do something to piss off all the incels and make Freddy Krueger a woman.
Woman.
Make the character a female.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Make it Brie Larson.
Okay, can I ask you guys a serious question?
Yeah.
Why doesn't anyone like that movie, Captain Marvel?
I do.
No, I do too, but I want to know seriously, like, what's the reasoning for it?
I have a fanny pack and I troll James with it all the time. Because he
James, you're not a fan. You're not a fan of the movie. I want to know why you don't like that movie.
No, it's not that I'm not a fan of it. I don't hate it or anything. I actually just watched it the other day. I don't know what it is. It's just the tone or something. To me, at least, doesn't feel like a Marvel movie in the way, like, I know I've said that about like Winter Soldier, because that doesn't feel like a Marvel movie at all. But in the best ways, it's the best Marvel movie in my opinion, or pretty close to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's something missing from that, like some missing ingredient from that movie that it just makes it lacking, which I don't know what it is. And there's in no way that I don't hate the movie. I know Wes didn't like the fact that I asked if I had to see the movie to see. I think what was it, like Endgame or Infinity War? I think I'm like, do I have to see it? And I was asking around to a lot of people, and I think I chose to see Ant-Man and the Wasp instead of Captain Marvel. So that way, I thought that was more integral to
which is a terrible. Like you could that Ant-Man and the Wasp is probably like on the lower tiers of Marvel movies.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing that ties into that in Endgame, except for the fact that after the post credits or whatever, there's a scene where Scott Lang gets trapped in the quantum realm, and then everyone disappears. That's the only thing that links it to Endgame or Infinity War, whatever the one it was. But yeah, I mean, I can't tell you. I know people. I know she pissed off a lot of people. I don't really remember what the reasoning was as to why they were pissed off at her for. She said something, or fat white guys who live in their basement, in their mom's basement or something, like hate this movie or something. I don't know.
I mean, she's not wrong. I don't know. I just have always liked it. I think I'm like the complete opposite of you. Like, I think it works well for me because it doesn't feel like a Marvel movie. I think it's one of the better like origin story movies. The soundtrack's badass. Obviously, I love everything how it's in early '90s, but I don't know. I just wanted to know.
No, I love the fact that it was early '90s. I was super stoked for it but then when I eventually saw it, I was like, something's, at least for me, like I said, something was missing. I don't know. It might have been the way. I'll say personally, I thought she was kind of like monotone throughout the whole thing. Like not very emotional. I don't know what the word is, but same facial expression a lot of the movie. So I was like, oh, okay, and that could be the way that she was directed to be. So I can't argue with that. So I don't know.
You guys, if you like Captain Marvel, now you know to write your hate letters towards James and not us.
It's definitely better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'll say that. So.
Okay. All right. Moving forward. My last little bit of news, which kind of leads into Universal monster stuff. A new Bride of Frankenstein remake is reportedly on the way from Netflix and Maggie Gyllenhaal. The cast is rumored to include Penelope Cruz as the bride and Christian Bale as Dr. Frankenstein. Pretty crazy, but I mean, Christian Bale didn't he just do the Netflix movie? Pale Blue Moon.
Uh-huh.
So maybe he has a thing with Netflix or something, but I'm super stoked. The cast is good, and give me all the Universal monster stuff, including the classic Tom Cruise, The Mummy. that I went to go see.
Hey, I bought the steelbook for that sight unseen, and I'm not completely disappointed in the movie.
I like it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we're in a very small pool of people that don't hate that movie. So,
but yeah, that's all I got for my news this week.
since the last episode, we've had a couple more deaths. And the one I wanted to shout out first is William Friedkin, who obviously directed the original Exorcist, The French Connection, Sorcerer, Cruising, To Live and Die in L.A., Killer Joe, Bug, some very, very heavy-hitting filmmaking, and it was I think a shock to all of us. He was up there in age. I think he was 85, if my memory serves me. So he did live a lengthy life and accomplished so much, and he was an amazing filmmaker. So everybody out there, go watch his stuff and celebrate his life. R.I.P.
Go watch fucking Cruising. Obviously everyone's seen The Exorcist, but go down his fucking filmography and just go fucking watch everything he's done, because it's so fucking good. Cruising's such a fucking goddamn underrated.
Yeah, and multifaceted, with the genres and everything. Like, talk about not limiting yourself. The guy, even though his filmography isn't super big, what he did do is so, I don't know, strange and bizarre. And he was an auteur from before our time, essentially, and one of the greatest, in my opinion.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Also, last episode we did not shout out Angus Cloud, and that was a huge mistake on my behalf, but we did lose him, unfortunately. Way too young. One of the best parts of Euphoria, outside of Zendaya, of course. A native to Oakland. He seemed like a really good dude, and again, shocked that he's no longer with us.
Yeah, that's a huge bummer. Dude, that sucks, dude. And honestly, dude, like, on some real stuff, check in on everybody that is in your circle, your family, your friends. Like, just fucking tell everyone you love them, because life is too goddamn short, and shit like that happens all the time. And even to, I'm sure, some of us in our lives and our past and everything, and you're never gonna get that fucking time back. So check on the homies, check on your family, and tell everyone you fucking love them.
Moving on into some lighter news. Gal Gadot with Wonder Woman 3 rumors have officially been debunked as untrue, despite her recent claims of a return. So the past, I wouldn't want to say the couple days or maybe a week ago, she came out saying that they were going to reboot the character, but she was still going to come back, and they're going to do Wonder Woman 3. And a lot of people were weirded out by that because, James Gunn had supposedly tore down the Snyderverse, essentially. And then now I guess that's not actually what's happening in that. I guess they said, I think it was Warner Brothers said that they never promised Gal anything. So, James, being a big DC guy, what do you have any thoughts on this, or do you care?
Yeah, so when I heard the news, I think it was about a week ago, when it did come out, I was super stoked. I was like, oh, cool. So I guess they're going to keep her and maybe Momoa. I know they haven't officially, aside from James Gunn saying, like you said, he's kind of, they're rebooting, and he also had stated that they're going to be keeping some things from the previous, films and bringing them over, but kind of rebooting them in his vision. So I thought, oh, that seems plausible, that, because she said, I talked to James Gunn and Peter Safran, and we talked about Wonder Woman 3. And I was kind of taken back because I know Patty Jenkins hasn't said anything, and she was the one who was kind of, she's the one who brought the character to life and won, and then kind of fell short in Wonder Woman 84. But I just thought it was weird that she wasn't mentioned at all. And and then that news came out saying, I think it was from a scooper who is primarily correct in a lot of things that he does talk about, said that someone from an inside source of Warner Brothers and close to Sean Gunn said that that's completely untrue. They might have had a talk with Gal Gadot saying that they want to work with her in the future, and maybe she misunderstood that and was kind of speaking out of turn and assumed that that's what that meant. But it sucks. But if it means that we're getting a better DC universe, I'm all for it. I think at this time and point in my fandom of the films, I am ready to just clean the slate and start fresh with everything.
On that note, go fucking everybody go support Blue Beetle. And
yes, please. That movie literally depends if they're going to bring Xolo back for anything or the character of Blue Beetle. That movie is extremely dependent on the success of it and whether or not we're going to see that iteration of Jaime Reyes ever again in the future, is if it's successful in the theater.
And with the strikes going on, they can't do much, so it all falls on us. So go fucking give that movie your money. It's very, very important for the culture, right?
And now it's time for the weekly recommendations.
So I have two for this week. I have a Apple TV original series called Silo. It just came out this year. I think it actually started dropping episodes in maybe June, or I think it was June when they started dropping episodes. There's only about 10 episodes. The first season is over, so you can catch up. They have plans, I think, for a second season, but with the writer strike and the actor strike and everything going on, that is yet to be determined. We'll see how that goes, but definitely an awesome futuristic, post-apocalyptic future where this community lives in a giant silo underground and no one can go outside, or so they say, because it's poisonous. And there becomes a huge conspiracy throughout this, trying to figure out if they're telling the truth, why no one knows what happened from over 100 years ago. Their history only goes back 100 years, and then after that, they don't know. So there's a lot of, mystery and everything in this show. So check it out if you really like it. Common's in this. I can't remember the other guy's name. There's a lot of these huge actors in this. I just look it up. Silo, Apple TV Plus. I love it.
Rebecca Ferguson from Dune, right?
Yes. The crazy guy from War of the Worlds who Tom Cruise kills in the cellar. I don't know. That's what I know him from. So I don't know his name. I apologize, Mr. Actor. But he was definitely good in this as well. And check it out. That's on Apple TV Plus if you have it. And then my other one is Superman and Lois. I am extremely behind on this series. I think they're going on their fourth season. They were actually just renewed for a fourth season, I believe. I think there was the only CW series that is actually still going after all the shows got canceled or ended. But it's definitely, I can see why they kept it around, because the production value of this is extremely high. The level of effects and everything that they have in this are way better than any CW show that was on at the time or even on now. And the crazy thing is, I just heard some news that a lot of their series regulars were actually, this is kind of goes along to the fact with the actor strike, they were actually demoted to reoccurring characters and no longer series regulars. So they lose a bump in pay, and they're no longer getting that series regular pay. So now they're just reoccurring characters, which is kind of a big fuck you to them. And they're actually integral to the series. So yeah, that explains that in a little bit kind of explains why they're striking. So, but check out the show; it's really good. It's on Max right now, or HBO Max, whatever you want to call it.
I wrecked it, I know, when we did the Batman, but if you're into comics, you love Batman, please go and read fucking Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder's Batman run. Best Batman run of all time, in my opinion. It starts with the Court of Owls. Go pick that shit up. Fucking go to your local comic store, pick it up, read it, because it's fucking good. And it deserves more love than it already has gotten. And it's been out for a while.
They have hard copies of that, right?
They do. I have like the volumes. Like each hard copy has like 3 different collected in the little, like, it's like a folder hard binder thingy. Go and buy that shit and read it, because it is my all-time favorite, and I think it is the best run. And Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder are the fucking man. And then I fucking binged the 3rd season of The Righteous Gemstones. That is by far my favorite fucking show on TV right now. The fucking writing is fucking so good. It's so damn hilarious. Danny McBride is fucking good in it. Edie Patterson, who plays one of the sister Judy Gemstones, her fucking comedic timing in that is fucking on point. Adam Devine is in it. Fucking John Goodman is so good in it. Check out The Righteous Gemstones. All 3 seasons are streaming on HBO or fucking Max, whatever the fuck it's called. And it just got picked up for a 4th season, so I'm super stoked on that. Yeah, check out The Righteous Gemstones. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but it is hilarious. And shout out fucking Danny McBride and his team for writing that shit and directing it. And then I watched the new A24 documentary, super random, on Apple, the Steph Curry doc. It's called Underrated. Super good if you love Curry and the Warriors as much as I do. Gives you like kind of inside look into his thinking and his work ethic. It's fucking insane, but check it out. It's a really good doc. It's on Apple right now. And it's A24. How fucking random is that? And then, obviously, I had to check out American Nightmare, the Becoming Cody Rhodes doc on Peacock. So damn good. He's my second favorite white man. And yeah, if you love Cody Rhodes, love wrestling, it tells his whole story from before he was into wrestling, when he was in WWE, when he left WWE, and you kind of get you kind of like him more for what he did and how he walked away from WWE and he built himself up again and started AEW with the Elite. So check that out on Peacock. I highly recommend it for anyone who loves wrestling. And then I went to go see a couple movies last week, or since the last episode. Haunted Mansion, I checked that out. I liked it. It's probably not going to be for everybody, but if you're a lover of Disney and the ride, I think you'll dig it. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'm pretty sure you haven't. I think I'm the only person in California that's all probably. But yeah, it's good, dude. It's good. I like it. The Jared Leto's Hatbox Ghost was fucking awesome. The like practical effects they did on him were badass, and it's kind of dark too. It's not like the Eddie Murphy shitty one where kind of kiddie. Like it's a little creepy. Yeah, check it out, or wait until it comes out on Disney Plus. I don't know. And then obviously I went to go see the new Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I have come to the conclusion, this is probably a hot take, I know Wes is probably going to try to RKO me through a table, but I think it's the best Turtle movie, hands down. So damn good, well written. The voice cast is awesome. The kids who play the Turtles have such good fucking chemistry, and fucking Paul Rudd as Mondo Gecko is the fucking best, and they need to give him his own spinoff. Yeah, go check out that movie. Check out Haunted Mansion. And then my last kind of rec, I saw it a while ago, but I don't think I wrecked it. But like 2 months ago, I went to go see Past Lives, A24 from first time writing and directing Celine Song. It's a love story. It'll just be mentally prepared because it will destroy you. I think it's streaming already. Like you can buy it, rent it digitally. But yeah, check out fucking that. And that by far has been my favorite movie of the year so far. I don't think anything has given me so much joy in watching and heartbreak. But yeah, check it out if that's your thing.
All right, I have two for you guys tonight. First one is I wanted to give another shout out to Dark Side of the Ring on Vice, this season 4, which I think they're on their 10th week, 10th episode. So go back, watch all that shit, or watch the other 3 seasons if you haven't seen the show at all. Incredible stuff. I know Ryan already wrecked it maybe a couple episodes back. But nonetheless, check it out. It's so goddamn entertaining. And what I love about it, what I appreciate about it most, is somebody who is completely ignorant to the wrestling world can turn it on and fucking learn so much and be devastated and crushed with the sadness that is that show, but in the best way.
You know what's crazy too is the reenactments and like the people they get for the stunt double. They're so fucking good.
Yeah,
like the Bash at the Beach one with like Hogan and Bischoff. It's so like it looks like fucking Hogan sitting there.
yeah, and how they kind of obscure it. It's so good.
Like Wes said, go check that shit out if you or have like a short attention span and don't want to watch the whole series of that season. That Bash at the Beach episode has been one of my favorite episodes of all the entire series, and you get a big look into how much of a piece of shit Hogan was.
Also, if it means anything to anybody, talking about attention spans, the episodes are only 44 minutes, so it's not a huge and not a huge time investment, right? Check it out. Dark Side of the Ring. And my next one, it's a little documentary from John Nix called Don't Fall in Love with Yourself, about a cult hero down here in San Diego by the name of Justin Pearson, who is he's kind of like Anthony Green in a sense, where he has a million different music projects. Probably the most known would be Swing Kids, The Locust. Right now he's in a little band called Def Club. Amazing stuff. Obviously big in the local hardcore scene. The film was beautiful. I helped with the Kickstarter years ago. I think it's been a movie that's been in development for about 5 years now. They're doing their run around the U.S. And it was so goddamn worth the wait. When they released the tickets to stream at home, it sold out. I wasn't able to watch it. And seeing it on the big screen with, all of the filmmakers there was incredible. So yeah, go check that out. I think they're doing the LA premiere tonight. If you're not going to catch it on the road, you can buy the physical. I think a pre-order for the physical Blu-ray is up on Vinegar Syndrome as we speak. So go get that. Check it out. It's a beautiful documentary. I loved every minute of it. And your boy, me, Wesley, is in the credits.
Oh my God. We're never going to hear the end of this.
So essentially what you're saying is that movie wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you.
No. I can't say that.
Also, I'll give you guys some to the listeners. I'm going to give you guys some backstory how Wes treated us last night.
Oh no!
We were all texting in this group chat, and then we're kind of going back and forth. And Wes says something, and he goes, "Oh, I have this event tonight. Like we're some fucking peasants, and he's invited to this red carpet gala." So I'm excited for you and happy that you got to enjoy your event, Wes, without us.
I said that because I wasn't sure James was going to know what I was talking about, so I was just trying to be inclusive, my guy. That's all, right?
You could have just said a movie screening. Like you had to say event.
I don't know. It just felt different to me. That's all.
Sounds better.
That's tight, dude. Shout out fucking Vinegar Syndrome for being badass fucking physical media.
Yeah.
Peoples.
Yeah. It's amazing. They did a little Q&A at the end. So shout out to the director, John Nix. Super nice guy. Justin Pearson. Of course, we love you. Yeah, go check out Don't Fall in Love with Yourself.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now for the movie focus of the week.
Trust me, you guys. If you think you hated James for his Miss Marvel, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me the next hour. I'm just kidding.
All right.
Ryan said, "Not my Batman."
Oh no. All right. So we're talking about The Dark Knight. It's PG-13. It's from 2008. It's a crime drama. It runs at 2 hours and 32 minutes, and it's got a 94 currently on Rotten. Directed by Chris Nolan, written by Jonathan and Chris Nolan, starring Christian Bale, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Heath Ledger, Gary Oldman, Aaron Eckhart, Morgan Freeman, and the great Michael Caine. Nolan's trilogy began in 2005 with the release of Batman Begins, which proved to be successful at the box office, with heavy hitter Christian Bale taking over the infamous Cal. And although Begins is an incredible and gripping origins tale for the Caped Crusader, it spent much of its runtime setting up the newly grounded and realistic world building. Showcasing some memorable villains and set pieces, The Dark Knight would truly elevate an already thriving, gritty Gotham. Spoiler alert, at the end of Begins, a Joker calling card is revealed as a teaser to what a sequel could possibly represent. But what you may not know is that Nolan was pretty hesitant to take on the sequel, having had no previous experience at the time with sequels in general. However, Nolan did accept and collab with screenwriter David Goyer to flesh out the main plot points of the sequel, before Nolan would team up to pen the script with his brother Jonathan. With Nolan deep into production on his film The Prestige at the time, Jonathan continued to work on various drafts of the script, with the two coming together to complete the final draft after The Prestige was completed. The production began its shoot in and around Chicago starting on April 18th, 2007, with the cast and crew moving to both the UK and Hong Kong to achieve different scenes and shots. The overall production lasted 127 days. Opening up in the US and Canada on July 18th, 2008, the film crushed at the box office, breaking numerous records, and with several re-releases over its 15-year lifespan, it has now crossed over the $1 billion gross mark. The film's score was composed by the great Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard, who weren't allowed to see the film prior to writing the music. This was because Nolan wanted them to not be influenced by the film's tone, but solely on how they interpreted each of the main characters, which, as we all know, did wonders for its atmosphere. Overall, The Dark Knight was and still is a massive achievement for not only comic book movies, but the world of film in general, snagging a number of awards and unleashing what might be the most effective take on the Joker that we've ever gotten as far as live action is concerned. The film's dark nature was inspired by not only graphic novels such as The Killing Joke and The Long Halloween, but also classic crime films like Heat and the original Godfather. If you haven't experienced The Dark Knight in a while, or on the off chance that you haven't seen the film yet at all, we can't recommend this film enough. 5 pencils out of 5. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Ryan. Do you want to be the hater? You want to sip on that haterade right now and tell us what you think about.
First off, I love this movie. Okay, just get that off, like right off the bat. All right. I definitely think that The Dark Knight has probably aged the best out of any superhero movie that came out around the same time. I'm talking 15 years. It's just fucking beautifully shot. The direction is fucking perfect. Obviously, Zimmer's score is fucking iconic and something that you think of when you see one of the first things you think of is when you see this movie is Heath's Joker, and I think of the score. I just think it's one of the better movies of the 21st century, and it's going to be talked about for years and years after we're all gone, like that. And then Ledger's Joker is probably up there with one of the best villains of all time. In my opinion, like film wise, since 2000, you have his Joker portrayal. You probably have Denzel's, Alonzo Harris on Training Day, and then Javier Bardem's fucking Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. I think those three are probably the best villains you've seen on screen in since 2000. And I think Heath's Joker is the better of the three. And with every Nolan, I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet, but just like every Nolan movie, like he makes movies, and The Dark Knight is one of those movies that is the reason why you love going to the movies. Like everything about it is you need to see it on the big screen. And I remember seeing it, like, I think I went to the double feature. They played the first one and the second one back to back. And I remember sitting there after the credits started rolling, just sitting there like, shit, like years from now, people are going to wish they had seen this movie opening night or they had seen it on the big screen. I think that's how big it is, and that's how big it is. And I definitely think that its longevity as a cultural phenomenon will probably not be touched. And it's crazy because I was thinking about it. The significance it had on pop culture is as close as 3 weeks ago when Barbie and Oppenheimer opened, right? Like how big it was to go to the movies. Obviously you had Avengers and stuff like that, but I think The Dark Knight trumps all those. I think we haven't gotten that in a while, and it's and then Christopher Nolan movie does it again with Oppenheimer and obviously with Barbie, but we'll get into why it's not my favorite of the Batman movies, but it is definitely the best Nolan movie, I think, next to probably Interstellar, in my opinion.
James?
Yeah. So I couldn't agree more with everything that Ryan said. I specifically remember seeing this movie when it came out. I was going into my senior year of high school, I believe, and there was a summer going into senior year, and me and Alyssa went to go see it. After the movie, we were waiting to get picked up because I didn't have a car, and all I was doing was annoying the shit out of her and imitating Heath Ledger the whole entire time while we waited for our ride to come and get us. And she was like, "Okay, I get it. You like the movie. Stop talking like him." And that's one of the main things I remember thinking about going to go see this movie. But I just remember being blown away, and it sucks. Kind of like what Ryan said. This is Heath Ledger's version of the Joker is kind of the blueprint of what people think of when they have to kind of, fill those shoes and portray the Joker again in future movies and stuff. So they're always going to be compared to this one version, and that's something to say about, you know, the character that he turned into. It's almost unrecognizable. You can't really tell it's him. The only time I was able to really be like, okay, that is Heath Ledger, is when they're at the funeral service in downtown Gotham and he doesn't have any makeup on and he's just himself with the scars. And I remember seeing pictures before the movie came out of like Heath Ledger and like makeup tests and stuff like that. So the hype for this movie was so real. Like Ryan said, the first one kind of, you get introduced to that world, and then this one was like, it took off. The score, it's just something whenever I think of Hans Zimmer, I think of this. That's those two are intertwined. This movie, this franchise, and him are intertwined like forever. So whenever you say his name, I'm like, oh, the guy who composed the Dark Knight trilogy. I love this movie. I love everything about it. The characters. I love the grittiness and the darkness of it. I don't think there's. To me, this is an awesome franchise. But I don't know what else. I'm pretty sure we can get more into detail of the film. But what about you, Wes? What is your first thoughts in seeing this film?
So, this film, I love the trilogy, but this film in particular means a lot to me. When it came out, I was just barely 18, and I was so excited. The hype around it, I don't know if you guys remember, was extremely huge. I remember going down and buying the physical stubs for the midnight showing, because back then in 2008 they were still doing the actual midnight shows where you go down to the theater at midnight and you watch whatever movie.
That was so fun. That was such an event to do those type of things.
Yeah,
that was so fun.
It was.
I missed those specific things.
Yeah, it's crazy that that's like not a thing anymore. But yes, I remember going down, buying them in advance, and then that night leading up to it was just incredible. Getting to the theater is just a fucking madhouse, packed to the brim. I think it's the only time maybe in my life that I've sat in the actual front row and didn't care. And it didn't bother me. I was just like, whatever I have to do. If I have to sit on the goddamn staircase, I'll do it. Right. And yeah, like you guys both said, when you think about this movie, you think about Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker. It was just, it was breathtaking. It changed my life, or at least cinema-wise, of, I don't know, like what a comic book movie, especially still being PG-13, what it could accomplish and how dark it could be. And I know a lot of people hated that about the movie, and a lot of parents and stuff criticized the film and its tone and how there was no, I guess, like redeeming moments and everything is just sad or whatever. But that was what's so fucking cool about it, you know, is that Nolan pushed the envelope in a lot of ways of what you could do with the comic book subgenre, and I just love it. And I feel like we're only talking about the Joker, but Christian Bale as Batman is great. I know he gets a lot of shit about his voice, whatever. And then Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face. The film builds up to his kind of switch over to a villain, but excellently portrayed again. Maggie Gyllenhaal was good, but that might be like the only gripe with me, because I'm sure like both of you, I am, how do you say, like a completist. I love realism. I don't like actor changes.
Continuity issues.
Yes, like mid trilogy, you know. And I'm really mad that Katie Holmes didn't come back and she said no to do some fucking, I don't even know what it's called, Money something with Queen Latifah, some little tiny comedy is what she chose to do. instead of this. I'm not sure if it was the fandom didn't care for her from Begins. You know, Katie Holmes was in Begins. I love this movie. It's perfect. 40 minutes of it is shot on IMAX. It's stunning. And a lot of, you know, and maybe this is a hot take, but I feel like Matt Reeves' Batman does take, and I'm not saying that it's biting off of this style, but I feel like the Dark Knight laid the blueprint, the foundation for what the Batman was able to achieve all these years later, you know, and take kind of cues from Fincher and whatnot, and be really heavy-handed with the that style and be confident in it. I think that we have wholeheartedly the Dark Knight to thank for that.
Yeah, that's my only gripe with, I think, you kind of talked on it right there, Wes, was the comparison between the two, which is it's fair to do it, but I think to me, I think it's the only thing that they're similar in is the groundedness of it, and I think that's what draws people to compare the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of unfair. And then I hear a lot of people, oh, you know, the Batman's nothing. You know, it's nothing compared to the Dark Knight trilogy. And then that in there, that itself, you're comparing one film to a trilogy of movies that we got this experience and grew to love with one film, or with the three films compared to one. I think that's kind of an unfair comparison, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I love this movie. I love the take on Two-Face and the messed up way that the Joker kind of screws with them in giving the wrong addresses, to kind of swapping the addresses on who to save and who's at which warehouse and whatnot.
Yeah, what's interesting with that is that they don't give you any kind of backstory for the Joker. He's just kind of this like chaotic character that's already existing, and I feel like that is something special because, as I've said on this show numerous times, I don't need a ton of exposition. I don't need you like spoon feeding me anything, and I feel like sometimes when they overdo that, they take away what is truly kind of haunting or scary about whatever character or premise. And the Joker is kind of he's shrouded in mystery, and you don't know, like, you know, if he's actually schizophrenic or what his overarching goal really is, and it's because he probably doesn't have one whatsoever. And you know, what is more scary than that, you know, is just and he says it himself, right, in the hospital, where he's like, you know, I'm just like a dog chasing after cars, you know.
Going back to I don't like I said, like, I don't think a movie, even when I went to go see that Last Avengers or anything, like, I can't remember even the newer Star Wars. Like, I saw all those, you know, midnight release, and I don't think I've gotten that same experience since then. And I don't know if we ever will. That midnight movie experience where, like Wes said, like, my theater was fucking packed, and the only way I got to, like, I was so hyped on it, but I just was procrastinating. I didn't get tickets. That was the only reason why I got such good seats and I got to see the movie at midnight, is because I got the double feature, and it came with like I think I still have the lanyard, like the Dark Knight.
Oh, that's cool.
I have it somewhere put away, but it's just that experience is something that I'm always going to cherish. Like, it's probably the best movie going experience I've experienced. And that's the scene that was like that opening scene when right after the heist, and it's revealed that it's the Joker in the gang of thieves, and he's the one about to get into the bus and drive away. I can still hear the fucking crowd, like everyone went fucking crazy. And I don't know how it was in you guys, but like I fucking jumped out of my seat, and you hear that fucking that Zimmer score kind of
build,
kind of hit and build. It's fucking perfect. So I think all of us are kind of in agreement that night and that movie, seeing that movie is something special that is never probably going to be recreated. And
it hit different.
It did, and I was there. Like I went to go see episode 1, 2, and 3 midnight. I fucking waited 15 hours to see episode 2, like on the fucking cement ground on a blanket with my dad and my brother, my brother. And still that Dark Knight opening night trumps that tenfold.
Do you just think that maybe we're older now and kind of dead inside?
Probably. It's most likely, yeah. But I mean, it's just you can go. But for instance, I'll probably go see Blue Beetle on Thursday at like fucking 3:00. Exactly when they start showing those movies.
Yeah, I know. It's insane.
Just people want them. It's just like streaming and TV series being dropped all at once. Just people cannot fucking wait, and it's kind of ruined the experience. And we're all fucking. I know I'm like that. I'm pretty sure you guys do. A show drops. Fucking Stranger Things drops on Netflix. It's the first thing we want to do is fucking binge it all and watch it as soon as it's released. But I think a lot of that has to do with just the age we're in. Everyone just wants everything as fast as they can.
And now with the internet, sometimes I feel like that's the smart way to go as far as consuming content, is see it as fast as you can before some asshole spoils it for you, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Back then, I don't think, like, of course the internet existed, whatever, MySpace, whatever, and Facebook, but we weren't getting leaks and shit like that, like, readily available, like how in the age that we are, in the era we are in right now.
And for that, obviously there was a lot of hype because of Heath Ledger and things like that, but like I remember seeing 1, maybe 2 trailers, and that's it. And then the only other stuff I'd seen was like promotional stuff. And then I don't know if you guys remember this, but at my theater, at my local theater that I used to go to, they had these huge fucking banners hanging from the inside of the theater, and it was like the Joker, Two-Face, and Batman, and you could only see kind of half their face. And like every time I would go see a movie, it was like, fuck, dude. I'd look up at those banners and like, god damn it, just a couple more months, a couple more weeks. I think I went to go see a movie the week before, and I was like, fucking next week I'm gonna be here. It's just that's what this movie means to me, and I'm sure it means to you guys the same.
Yeah, I think I got a Harvey Dent poster, that exact poster that you're talking about, where it shows he's holding up the vote for Harvey Dent or something, and it's the shadow is covering half his face, and it says The Dark Knight. I think I got that at Comic-Con that summer, so I think it had to have been the same weekend that was coming out, or the weekend after the movie had come out. But I was so stoked when I got it. I think I actually gave it to my brother, but we still have it. It's a crazy thing, the time that we're living in now. Like you said, everyone wants everything now. I remember calling the movie theaters to get showtimes, like a list. I'm like, okay, this movie's playing at 11:30, and this movie's playing at 1, this movie's playing at whatever, and then I'd have to write them down or check in the newspaper that my grandparents had.
The newspaper was my favorite, dude. Like,
yeah.
Everyone knows how much of a physical person I am. Opening that fucking, like, my dad would be like, let's go to the movies. I'd go fucking run to get the newspaper and fucking open it up.
E15 and find the movie listings for this Saturday. And it's like, okay, cool, let's go find it. Oh man, yeah. Kind of aging ourselves a little bit.
I will say this. I want to say a couple years ago, I was able to see The Dark Knight through this, how do you say, like a group. It's called the Rooftop Cinema Club.
Oh, yeah.
Where I believe I want to say down here, it's the Hyatt, where they have a huge ass screen literally on the top of their hotel. You go, You walk by the basketball courts, and they have all of these seats, and they give you headphones. So it's like almost like a big listening party. So you don't have to worry about the ambient noise and stuff, planes flying over, and you watch movies like that. But I went to see The Dark Knight in that kind of how do you say, scenario, and it felt like you're fucking like in Gotham, dude. It was so crazy.
That's so cool. I'm going to talk about one of my favorite scenes from this. It had to be the interrogation scene when they finally catch the Joker, and you think, oh yeah, they caught him finally, but you end up finding out that it was his plan the entire time. That's how like meticulous he is in his planning, and he's 30 steps ahead when you think you're 5 steps ahead. But the fact when Harvey Dent is talking about, I gotta go get some coffee, I'll be right back, or something like that. And he's like, oh, good cop, bad cop routine. And he's like, not exactly. And he closes the door, and then the lights turn on and Batman's behind him. I thought that was fucking insane. I love that scene. And then when the Joker starts spilling his plan or that he has Harvey and Rachel, and he kind of loses his shit. And he starts punching them, and whenever I watch that scene, you can like feel the hits on his face, and I just love the fact that Batman is. Joker even says he's like, "There's nothing you can threaten me with all of your might and all of your power. I have nothing. Like, you can't hurt me." And I just love the fact that with them just meeting in this movie, the Joker already knows Batman, and he knows the line that he won't cross, and he knows that he has the upper hand in that situation. And I just thought it was an awesome scene to see those two going at it in this version cinematically.
Every time I watch that scene when Batman fucking just like kind of socks like Joker's hand.
Yeah.
While his palms are kind of out on the table, and he just like puts like all of his force on his hand. That always gets me. Like, you can feel it.
Yeah.
The power of how that must have felt. He throws him into the glass, cracks the glass with his head, and he's just like maniacally laughing. Which
every time he gets hit, he's laughing back at him like, you can't do anything, you can hurt me, but that's it. And I just love that. Like he says, with all your power, you can't hurt me.
And just like the how do you say it? Like the aesthetic of how they chose to dress him for his wardrobe is amazing.
Yeah,
it works. Everything is how do you say, custom? Like, so.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a character addresses that, where he's like, yeah, we ran his prints, like, he doesn't, like, we don't know who he is. It's like he doesn't exist. What can I ask you guys, since we haven't really talked about it, and it still bums me out, but I know he passed away while Nolan and the team were still editing the film, which I'm sure must have been hard, but probably I want to say maybe put some kind of more magic into it when they're editing, knowing that it was like this character that he was so proud of.
That's funny you bring that up, because I was just going to bring up the fact that this movie felt magical because it was his last film. I know that he came out with the other one where Johnny Depp kind of filled in for him.
Yes.
At some point, but to me, The Dark Knight is Heath Ledger's last film, or at least completed film.
Yes.
So that's like, and knowing that going into the theater, being like, wow, he's gone, and I'm watching him in front of me, and like he's playing this character, adds, and he's, like I said, he's gone, and it adds that mysteriousness and just feeling to the movie, like you had to go see it. And I think that's what makes it so much better also. Yeah,
because I feel like, much like
Anton
Yelchin, right? how he was taken too early, and I feel like he was just popping off, like just starting to show us, like, yo, this is what I'm capable of. Same thing with Heath. You know, he had a great body of work, but I feel like it wasn't, you know, Brokeback is super serious, but I feel like this was him taking his acting chops to the next level, and to get into kind of the lore of the Dark Knight. From what I've read over the years, Heath Ledger reached out to Jack Nicholson, who obviously portrayed like the first, at least cinematic, Joker, right, in the first Tim Burton Batman, and asked him for tips, like, hey, I'm gonna be, you know, taking this role. What should I do? How should I prepare? And Nicholson told him, don't do it, dude. Like, it's a trap. It's too hard. Like, just don't take it. And of course, he didn't listen. He still did it. And a lot of people kind of think that the stress and the amount of method acting that he put in to that character, you know, he spent several months in a hotel isolated, fleshing out the character by himself. He wrote, he had like a journal of all of the Joker's thoughts and feelings and everything, and just kind of fleshing out the voice and the mannerisms and how he wanted that character to be. And a lot of people seem to think that led to his untimely death, because I'm pretty sure you guys know he passed away from an accidental mixing of prescription drugs, but supposedly he started taking those, I think, if my memory serves me correctly, that he was having trouble sleeping, and that it was all kind of stemmed from his the unhealthy habits that he formed from preparing for the Joker. Do you guys have any thoughts about this?
Yeah, dude. I think we've all read things like that, and I know, like, he even kept, like, he even kept like a journal, right? Like, he started journaling as the Joker, and I know, like, people and everyone they do say like it kind of contributed to his eventual death, and I'm sure there was other factors and stuff like that, but I think all that just kind of adds to it sucks. It definitely does suck to say, but I think it does add to that lore of that character, and us knowing what happened and kind of how it happened, and then going in to see that movie. I think it definitely made that character way more terrifying, because you knew what had happened. And like I said in the beginning, like, I don't think there's ever going to be, there hasn't yet been, and I gave those two examples, and I know they came close, and I think they both won Oscars, but I don't know if that's ever going to be able to be topped. I really don't. And that's one of them, in his portrayal of Joker and that character, I think is probably, it obviously is, you know, my favorite part of the movie. And I say this a lot, and I don't want to be one of the people that is a troll or wants to start shit, but I truly, honestly believe that if you take Heath Ledger's Joker out of that movie, you still have a Nolan fucking movie, but it loses something.
Yeah.
And I think for me, in my overall, like, just in general Batman ratings, it definitely gives it an extra half point just because of him. And it's just, even thinking about it now, it just sucks. like you were saying, Wes, he was on the up, right? Like, this would have, I think, no matter if, I know some people say that he, you know, the Academy gave him that award just because of his death, but I don't believe that. I think he would have gotten that fucking award no matter what. He would have gotten this award, and fucking who knows what he could have done, and how many more awards and shit he could have won. But it's very sad to see. Even now, watching it, I just finished watching it like a couple hours ago, and I still get bummed out because
I think it's in every like repeat viewing is that feeling like, man, fuck, he would have been insane in the next one, it's like, and everything else that he would have been able to do,
and it's very like looking back at it now, and even saying it now is kind of selfish, right? Because his daughter lost her father, and obviously he was married at the time, but it still definitely is. I think you definitely can say it. It just sucks altogether. But I can't say anything else any more than it's the greatest. I think.
Yeah, I love the dynamic between him and Alfred. Throughout this film, you kind of with Bruce, you get this feeling of like, I'm in his mind, he's kind of like, I'm searching for a way out of this persona that I've become, being the Batman. He was definitely looking to rekindle that relationship. That was his the way to a normal life was being with Rachel. And Alfred, at some point during the film, I think midway through, when the Joker is kind of begins his stuff, Alfred blames Bruce for the escalation, the terror that's going on throughout the city. So, like, you put these people in this situation. What did you think was going to happen? Like, you put them, like, you put the pressure down so hard that there was only one way for this to turn out, and that's kind of like the destruction of this city or its people. And I love the explanation of the thief in the forest, and that whole little story inside this film of a guy he's robbing stagecoaches and then throwing the money and jewels and gold throughout the forest because he doesn't care. He wanted to do something just to do it. And that explanation there is a perfect explanation for the Joker's character. Some people don't have a cause or a reason for anything. They just want to watch the world burn, essentially, is what Alfred says. And I think that's awesome. I think Alfred is a underlooked character in this franchise, but he's a scene stealer, definitely, when he's in this as well.
Absolutely. Come on, man. Michael Caine, a Nolan regular. He's so good. Especially, I know we're not talking about Rises, but man, that end when he thinks Bruce is gone.
I'm sorry, I let you down. I was supposed to protect you. Yeah, Michael Caine's awesome in all of this. I love the little glimpse, the 2 minutes of Scarecrow that we get, the brilliant Cillian Murphy. His just his little, I forget his one line, but it's just, he's awesome in the Scarecrow. I was so hyped to see him back as the Scarecrow because I didn't think he would come back. And just a little bit we got was amazing.
So when Batman comes rolling through with the tumbler, doesn't he say, like, that's more like it?
Yeah, we have these guys who are dressed up in hockey pads, and he's like, that's not the Batman. And then the fucking tumbler comes destroying, like, blowing through blows up a car and through a wall. And he's like, oh yeah, that's more like it. And then he runs to his van.
I'm not the one wearing hockey pads.
God damn it, Wes! Why'd you have to do that?
What? Why not?
I'm one of those people, dude. I don't like his Batman voice.
Hey, did I not reference that or not?
You did reference it, but I try not to think about it a lot. Honestly, that's like the only I have like a decent sized issue with it, but that is my only issue. Other issue is just his Batman voice.
Wasn't this? I could be wrong, but wasn't The Dark Knight the first comic book or superhero movie type to be even nominated for prestigious awards?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
and it was the first to hit $1 billion in the global box office.
Yeah. I want to ask you guys each. This goes out to both of you, and I'll answer it as well. Your favorite scene in this entire film, if you could think of one.
It might be like you said, James, that interrogation scene where they'll cast you out like a leper.
Yeah.
That's what I think about when I think of this movie.
I think it's the opening scene for me.
Okay.
Because as much Heat being like one of my favorite movies of all time, and just the parallels.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, that reveal of him at the end of that scene where it is him there and that opening scene too, where you get the fucking camera angle over and you see the window break. God,
yeah, it's beautiful. It's so goddamn sexy. The fact that they're talking shit about the Joker while he's in the car with them and they don't know. He's like, this guy thinks he can take a cut of our take and not even be here. He's like, you wonder why they call him the Joker, huh?
And then he's like, yeah, why they call him the Joker? Because he wears face paint, like war paint.
I love how they're kind of, they're building up this character. They cut to each different guy asking like, oh, why is this guy the Joker? Or who, like you said, why do they call him the Joker and everything? And then his plan could be like, okay, this guy cuts off the security alarm and that guy kills him. And then that guy goes and breaks into the vault and then the next guy kills him. And then the fact we're like, yeah, I bet the Joker told you to kill me after we got all the money. He's like, no. I killed the bus driver. Bus driver.
She's all, what bus? And then the fucking bus goes through the wall and like nails the dude.
Yeah. And like I said, the meticulous planning that the Joker, like, you think he's just some insane guy, but the planning that has to go through, that he has to like think of to get a bus at the right exact time, where they'll be able to pull away and be in line with the other buses, is amazing.
We'll say another standout, of course, is when the Joker and his goons crash that party, and he's all, we are tonight's entertainment.
Harvey Dent, I'm looking for Harvey Dent, do you know him?
And he's just walking around, and he drinks the champagne, dude.
My father was a fiend. One of my other favorite scenes, like you said, the interrogation one, and then also the closing scene where he tells Gordon, he's like, call it in, and he's kind of like, well, Harvey Dent was our guiding hope to save Gotham. And he's like, yeah, he has to stay the hope, and blame everything on me, blame his death on me, say that I killed him, and I can take that, so don't worry about it. And then he kind of runs off and he calls it.
He pretty much takes the heat for the death of Harvey Dent, which is a bummer that they killed him so kind of quickly. Within the
that bummed me out too. Is that Two-Face is such an iconic character for Batman's one of Batman's villains, and they we only get to enjoy him for about 40 minutes.
Wasn't it true that the Joker was a part of the final installment initially?
That's what I remember in a rough draft of the third film.
Because he doesn't die in the Dark Knight. He's hanging upside down, right? They catch him. They catch him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing scene too, where it's kind of, that part is kind of heartbreaking to me, because you get this scene where Joker's hanging upside down and Batman's talking to him, and he's like, "You're a madman. I'm going to put you away forever."
I don't want to kill
something
you.
Like that. And he's like, "I don't want to kill you." Well, he's like, "I feel like me and you were destined to do this like forever." And I'm like, "Oh man, that kills me." That he says like, they're supposed to do this for all eternity, and
he's
we
like,
never get to see it again. It's kind of, a stab in the fucking heart whenever I hear that scene.
You complete me.
Man, what a great fucking movie.
Is it safe to say that everybody's in agreement here that this is our favorite from this trilogy?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You merely adopted to the darkness.
I was born in it, molded by it.
James, what are you doing being a mailman? You should be a voice.
Yeah, I know. I fucking people tell me that all the time. Yeah, maybe in another life.
Damn, don't say it all sad like that, dude.
Delivering mail has become my joy, okay?
Broken katanas is your joy, my boy.
I know. Master Way, shall we be taking the Batmobile? In the middle of the day, Alfred? A little, what does the Alfred he says? Then the Lamborghini, then.
Oh, yeah. Well, you gotta do. I can't believe that you said no to me for the side table reads. The guy.
I was so fucking scared to do that. I can do it like this. Okay, if we do it again, I'll do it. I have to get into character.
Okay.
I gotta go hide in a room. I can record my scenes in a closet. But you can read your lines to me. I can react off of them.
Was that why you didn't want to be embarrassed with your family?
No. I do voices all the time. Like, I fuck with my grandma all the time and call her and act like somebody else. I do that on a daily basis, so that's fun.
You gotta
not in a mean way, but I just do it. She'll call me and she'll be like, "Hello," and I'd be like, "Hello."
You gotta
weird random voices.
You gotta screen grab those calls and send them to us, dude.
Okay, I will.
Any other thoughts on the film other than us gushing over this? I mean, I feel like everybody out there, I hope, is pretty familiar with the actual beats of the story,
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, who wants to pick the next film?
Oh yeah, let's do a bad movie.
We haven't done one of those. We haven't done one of those in a long time. That'd be great.
And we are going to do.
Drum roll.
We're going to go from one superhero movie to another.
Okay.
A little movie from 1997, starring one of the greatest actors of our time, Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, fuck me.
Steel.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ.
And it's streaming on Max.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Oh, that's an episode.
It's currently sitting at a 12% on Rotten and a 2.9 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's what I like.
So, James.
Yes.
Do you want to let all our lovely listeners know what it is we do on here and where they can find us?
Yeah, so we are Drop the Mic. We are a San Diego-based podcast. We release new episodes every single week, usually towards the end of the week. And we have over 300 episodes now. So if you like this episode, you can go back into our catalog and find all those amazing episodes that you think you'd like. Listen to those, review if you can. If you like this episode, send a link, this link, or any other links to our previous episodes to your friends, family, co-workers, whoever that may be. If you think they'd enjoy this, please send an episode. If you have some time, give us a 5 stars, a thumbs up, write a positive review. That definitely helps us out. We are available on every single platform, pretty much, that plays a podcast. So if it has the capability to play a podcast, we're probably on there. Just search Drop the Mic and leave us a review. And we have an Instagram, so if you want to comment on some of our posts there, talk about a previous episode that we've done. If you enjoyed it, if you hated it, let us know so that way we can get better. And if you want to be a guest maybe on an episode or want us to review an episode review a movie that we haven't done, you can also do that. And get to that as well. But feel free to DM us there at our Instagram. That's at @dropthemic_podcast. And we have a Twitter as well. That is at @dropthemicpod.
That is correct.
And so tweet us there, or whatever it's called
X.
now. X us there. I don't know what the thing is. But go ahead and follow us there on whatever it's called now. I'm sure it'll be Twitter again probably in like 6 months. But follow us on both those social media platforms, and give us a follow. And I think that's about it.
Nicely put. Ryan.
Thank you.
Yes.
Is there anything you'd like to plug before we get out of here?
There is, actually. We have a playlist. It's been going on for a little bit now. Music that we all enjoy. Music that we're listening to right now. Or new music or new artists we think you should check out. It's on Spotify and now on Apple. Just search Drop the Mic and it'll come up. You got a little bit of everything for everyone on it. There's bands from 10 Years, De La Soul, Thrice, Gate Creepers. You got fucking, rock, hardcore, death metal. There's some Georgia Smith on it. There's some Gold Link. A lot of different artists, different types of music. So check that out. We update it every week. So go and click it when we update it and then save it. But yeah, check it out.
All right, so fellas, next week we're going to do our first bad movie episode in a pretty long time. I think, and what a banger Ryan picked.
Yeah.
Be a good one.
Should be lots of fun. Go listen to our new summer sci-fi episode with Mr. Chris Pollock. We talked about Total Recall. It was a blast. That guy's so cool. Go listen to Total Recall. It's called the episode is called Get Your Ass to Mars. Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, James.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun. Go watch The Dark Knight again. It's streaming right now on Max. And with that, this is Wesley Swanson, Ryan Jimenez, James Warney signing off, saying good fight and good night.
Hi. I don't want there to be any hard feelings between us, Harvey. When you and Rachel were being abducted, I was sitting in Gordon's cage. Now, I didn't rig those charges.
Your man. Your plan.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan? You know what I am? I'm a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it. I just do things. The mob has plans. The cops have plans. Gordon's got plans. They're schemers. Schemers trying to control their little worlds. I'm not a schemer. I try to show the schemers how pathetic their attempts to control things really are. So, when I say, come here, when I say that you and your girlfriend was nothing personal, you know that I'm telling the truth.